the whole thing. So I'm going to go through the toolbars and the menus very quickly, and then we're going to have time to play around. So I'm actually going to start on the left, and this is your main toolbar, and here you have under what I'll call the hamburger menu. That's where you have the options to import, export. You could import like a PDF or a PowerPoint. Same thing with the export. This is where you do your save functions, your print functions. Under settings, a couple of important settings. Enable erasing and writing at the same time, and I'll show you why in just a minute. The other thing you can change is your default background. There are many, many backgrounds that you can use. The default background, it only is going to change what immediately comes up. So if this green is too much for you and you want it to boot up and be white, and then you choose a background from there, you just have to change the default color to white and click check. The next time you pull it up, it will default to the white background instead of the green background. Next to the hamburger menu, you'll see something that looks like a desktop, and it shoots you to the desktop. On the desktop, you'll see you have a mini toolbar on the side. So if I had a web browser up or something on my desktop that I wanted to highlight or show, you have your annotation tools here so that you could do what you were doing. Then under this hammer and wrench, I can choose the snipping tool. I'm going to do just an area. Click check. It automatically imports it into your note file. Now, this will stay here until I get rid of it. So if I wanted to do multiple, I could just leave it there. Next to that desktop is your hammer and wrench tool, where most of the tools that you're going to use are residing, including your backgrounds. So under subject, you have solid backgrounds, you have discipline backgrounds, teaching templates, and you can also select images that you might have on your computer to use as a background. Next to the subject, you'll see discipline tools, and you don't have to remember all of these. We're recording it, plus you're just going to have to play around with this to really get used to it. But there's tools in here like, everyone loves the beaker. So I can actually take this beaker, pour it into the other one.
Whoa, I like that.
I can change the color of the liquid. It does not
Did you put a
color
timer on
mix.
this? Yeah, it was on there. It's on
Yep,
the
it's on there. It's in the tools. So that's under the hammer and wrench. You have math tools, like we could use a ruler. This will allow you to shrink it and grow it for measuring.
Yeah. Is the protractor a full protractor? A circle one?
It's not, it's just.
It's the half one. You do have a compass, but you have the, I don't know if it has the option.
But you could probably put two of them on there, could you?
That's what we did.
And turn it upside
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
Yeah, you would just have to put two of
And
them
then flip it.
and then
Right.
rotate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that.
and then move it in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm going to add a slide. There is another reading one that you guys might be interested in, a writing and reading one. So if I choose this ABC, I can import it and it will say it.
Yes.
So you could put directions up there for friends that might, not
Yeah.
be great with reading or something, if you had this as a station.
The last one where it says tools, which is a toolbox, think of these as presentation tools. They lay on top of what you're doing. They're not embedded into the file. So there's things like a browser. Someone asked about a timer. You can actually set your timer and then add a link so that it will do something at the end of the timer, so that it could do, like, the timer ends and then it plays a video, or the timer ends and a sound or a file comes up. Okay, I'm going to add a slide. Next to that, you have, this is where all of your resources are, and it's just a quick access to the things, the files that you have if you wanted to import a file. The magnifying glass is really important. So,
Where'd the keyboard go, I think, yeah.
oh, type in dog.
Hit enter.
So if you find something that you like, you click it once to open it. You can drag it onto your screen. If it's copyright protected, you're going to see a message right in this black area that will say that it can't import it. choose another image because that one's copyright protected. You have options to do things like you could set this as the background. I'm going to go back. You can also take the background out. If you take a high contrast image, this will work better, but you just tell it what color you want to take out. Then if I'm in preparation mode, I can
That's probably
actually,
not going to be an issue on their computers, right? When they're on their computers, it's going to be in preparation mode.
yes,
So when you're
Yes.
creating yours from your laptops, you won't have to worry about that preparation mode. But if you
Yep.
are on the boards creating it, then you need to make sure that you're in that preparation mode.
mainly for this linking
Yeah.
feature, which Lisa says you guys want to use. So when you click on an item, it gives you additional options that you have. This circle is the animation tab, and you can do just like on PowerPoint where it like slides in or slides out or does different things. But if you click on the text tool, there's actually a hyperlink there also, so that you could have a hyperlink to some other video or objects that when you had this picture, you click on the globe if you've got network, and then it will shoot you to whatever link you have put there. Okay. So those are the things that we're going to use. This last one, Connect, you guys are not using that. You're looking at some other casting options, so that one is not something that your district is using. So the middle toolbar, this has your mouse, which is the arrow. It has your writing tool. There are 20 points of touch, so you can have lots of hands writing at the same time. If you're in freehand mode writing, you can flip your hand over and make it into an eraser without changing tools. That is if you're freehand writing. You also have, I'm going to do the shape recognition tool. So you have all different shapes, and of course you have, like I said, when you click the mouse, you can pull in different options. Now, if I try to freehand erase, it's not going to erase my objects. It's meant so that if you were to write measurements or something in your object, you could erase that and leave the object there. The way to get rid of objects, which is everything other than freehand, if you click on the eraser and click it again for your options, you can either strike through something. If you have multiple things, you can circle them and it will delete them. Or if you slide the whole thing, it deletes everything. So I'm going to put some objects on here and some stuff. Now the hand, looks like a big robot hand, will allow you to make objects larger or smaller, but you can also do that with your whole canvas. So if I squeeze on the outside of what I have written, I can also slide it sideways, and I could keep writing, and I could keep sliding it to the side. Now, of course, you're going to be like, where'd my stuff go? If I click on the hand again, I can go directly to whatever part of the screen I want to go to. Now, if you are going to take your lesson and export it as a PDF so that it could be available to students online on its learning, I would not make a giant canvas like this, because then it's going to shrink it down and try to fit it on one page, and it's going to be minuscule. So if you are knowing that you want to do that, I would work in slides, which we'll cover in just a minute. The last thing on this toolbar, you have handwriting recognition, which will take your handwriting and convert it to text. Whenever you pause, it sees that as the break in the word. So just know that if you're writing and you pause and then try to pick it up again, it's going to split it into two things. So I'm going to actually take my slide viewer, and if I use this shadow arrow, it will flip my main menu with my slide menu, so that I don't have to like keep walking across the screen to do it. But if I want to add a slide, I have to use the plus button. Then the arrows are where you navigate the slides. Now if I push on the slides, that will pull up a menu of all the slides that I have. And then I can do things like I can choose slides to delete. I'm going to delete those two and say yes. I can also change the way that I view my slides. And there's also this one, you can view it in this way also. You can also group group slides, if you're really into doing slides and you like to have like different groupings, there are those options as well. So did I forget anything? I think those are all of the ones that we covered. And I'm going to give you time to play around with them. Let me just stop this recording.